Very good morning to all of you friends. Today we are going to study about the fourth type of animal tissue, that is called nerve tissue or nervous tissue. Now, nerve tissue or nervous tissue is actually made up of cells which are known as neuron. So the unit of nerve tissue is neuron. Okay, so that is the difference between nerve tissue and other tissues like epithelial, like connective and muscular tissues that we have studied. So nerve tissues are made up of nerve cells, or which are also called units of nerve tissue, which are known as neuron. Okay, so nerve cells are also called neuron. Now this is the structure of neuron, but before we study the structure of neuron, let us find out what are the characteristics of nerve tissue. Now nerve tissue helps in conduction of impulses from one part of our body to another part. Okay, so nerve tissue is made up of cells which are called neurons, which helps in transmission of impulses. So transmission means conduction of impulses. Impulse means it is a message or any information that is in the form of electrical signal which is transmitted or conducted from the central nervous system of our body, that is the brain or the spinal cord, to different parts, as well as they also carry impulses from different parts of our body towards the central nervous system also. That means vice versa. So nerve cells are present in our brain, they are present in the spinal cord, and they are present in the nerves. So these nerve tissues which are made up of neurons, these neurons are present in brain, in the spinal cord, and in the nerves. Okay, you know that our body constitute different types of nerves. These nerves, they carry impulses, or they help in transmission of impulses from the central nervous system to different parts of our body, or from different parts of our body which are called receptors towards the central nervous system also. Okay, so in both directions. Now this is the diagram of a neuron. Okay, this is a diagram of a neuron. Now in this diagram you see the neuron basically is made up of two parts, that is the cyton and the axon. Cyton is also called the cell body. So this is actually the cell body, and axon is the process. It is a process or an appendage type of structure that arises from the cyton. The cyton consists of certain parts, like it has a big nucleus in the center. Okay, so a nucleus is present, cytoplasm is present, certain cell organelles are there, and it has some processes. Processes means some extended parts or portions which are called dendrons, and again dendrons further divide to form dendrites. So this is a dendron. This pyramid like structure is a dendron, and this dendron further divides to form like this dendrites. Okay, so these are called dendrites. So dendrites and dendrons, these are present in the cyton part of the neuron. The other part of neuron is known as axon. That is another big appendage or process like structure. Now this axon is again made up of certain parts, like the nerve tissue is actually covered by a sheath or protective covering that is called myelin sheath. Okay, myelin sheath. This myelin sheath covers the nerve cell or the neuron so that impulses are not scattered while they are being transmitted from the cyton to the nerve endings. So transmission of impulse actually takes place in this direction. That means from the cell body towards the nerve endings. So these are the nerve endings. Okay. Now, so it is covered with a sheath that is called myelin sheath. There are some cells which are called Schwann cells, which are phagocytotic in nature, and they help in engulfing any foreign particle which may be wandering in the nervous tissue. Okay, so they are protective in function, and this portion is called the axon, and the end of the axon consists of some nerve endings, and these nerve endings are connected either to the next neuron or to certain muscles called receptor muscles or effector muscles. So the nerve endings actually are connected to the next neuron, or they are connected to the muscles or tissues also. Okay, so the conduction of impulse takes place from the cell body towards the axon. This is the direction of the conduction of impulse from one neuron to another. Okay, so this is the characteristic of nerve tissue, that it helps in conduction of impulses. A short note may come on the structure as well as the function of neuron, and let me also show you how neuron actually looks like when we observe it under the microscope. Okay, so this is one neuron. Let us see how a neuron looks like when it appears in the microscope. So these are called the nerve cells. Okay, these are the nerve cells, and these are the cell bodies. The dark stained structures that you see, these are the cell bodies. Okay, cell bodies. And when we are going to observe the slide of nervous system in our biology laboratory, we will see structures of this sort. So it is not going to appear like the diagram that I showed you just now, but it will appear like this, because inside our body the nervous tissue is scattered, and these are the cell bodies. Okay, and in between you can see number of cells which are called neuroglial cells, which are protective in function. So in some of the places you can see that they are the processes. These are the processes. Okay, and these are some of the axons and dendrites and dendrons. Okay, so these here you can see some processes you can see. So these are the axons. The biggest process is axon, and the small ones are the dendrites and the dendrons. So if you see the diagram, okay, this is the cell body. Okay, so one of the processes is axon, rest of the processes are dendrons and dendrites. Okay, thank you so much for watching this video. I will upload the summary. Please go through the summary as well as try to find out the difference between the 4 different types of animal tissues. Okay, also try to do the question answers which are given at the end of this chapter in our NCERT book. Thank you so much for watching this video.